And you look at the Falcons for 2025, and you know, after that 2024 and the whole big trade for Kirk Cousins coming in, and they drafted Michael Phoenix anyway, even though Kirk Cousins was coming in and was going to be the starting quarterback. Kirk Cousins got injured in 2024, and then they started Michael Phoenix the last few weeks of the 2024 season. And you're like, why the fuck have you drafted Michael Phoenix when he had a ton of injury problems in college, and he was 25 going on to 26, 27? Which was a huge problem anyway, because again, you're going all in on Kirk Cousins, who was, again, he was bank average in Minnesota. Then you're thinking he's going to win you a championship? Give me a fucking break here. But again, this was like the second year with Raheem Morris as their head coach, and ultimately it was time. It was time to kind of cut your losses. The Falcons. They drafted, again, they focused heavily on the defense. Again, with a defensive head coach, you would expect that. Jalen Walker coming into a defensive end, I thought was a really good addition from Georgia. I thought that was a really good draft pick. Bringing in Jalen Walker, a defensive end from Georgia, 15th overall. Then James Pierce Jr., again, you're beefing up two edge rushers here with James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker. And then you trade away a couple of picks so you get some draft capital going on as well with trade away some picks to the Rams and the Patriots. And then you go back into the defense game. It's Avery Watts, a safety from Notre Dame, and then Billy Bowman, safety from Oklahoma. And then you go for you address the offensive line later on in the 7th round with Jack Nelson from Wisconsin. And then you trade away a couple of picks to, again, more picks to the Rams and more picks to the Eagles and the Rams. They were third in the NFC South. So the Falcons finished third in the NFC South, and like I mentioned in my Bucks video, if you haven't seen it already, check that out. They finished 8-9. It just shows how bad this division is, that you've got 3 teams that were on 8-9. I don't know, it's just such a bad division. But anyway, after, I mean, we'll get into the schedule real quick. And you look at the schedule here for the Falcons. Like, they started 2-2 after week 4. They were 2-2. They come off the bye week and get a great home win against the Bills. They get a great home win against the Bills, going 3-2, and then they lose on the road to the 49ers. They lose at home to the Dolphins. Lose at home to New England. Lose in overtime to the Colts, who had Philip Rivers at that point. Then they lose on the road to the Saints. They lose on the road to the fucking New York Jets, and then they lose at home to obviously Seattle, and then they win the next couple of games against like the Cardinals and the Rams, and then the Saints again. So, and the Buccaneers on the road. Points for the offense was really bad last year, 24th out of 32. The defense was 19th out of 32. Again, with a defensive-minded head coach, I talked about this in the Buccaneers video, but again, you have a defensive-minded head coach, but his defense is 19th in the division. With a defensive-minded head coach, make that make sense? I don't understand it, but ultimately, your offense stunk, your defense stunk. Michael Phoenix got injured. Who would have thought it? You drafted an injury-prone quarterback who isn't really good, very injury-prone at college, has been injury-prone now in the NFL, and now your season went to shit. But you know, if it was for the Panthers, you would have, for the Saints, you would have been 4th. And there's again, rightfully so, Raheem Morris was fired, which was again the right decision. Firing Raheem Morris, and the GM got fired as well. You fire Raheem Morris after the end of the season, so he does the press conference, and then they fucking fire him 2 hours later. Terry Fournette, who was the GM of the Falcons, got fired, rightfully so, because again he fucking sanctioned the whole Kirk Cousins deal. And then you announced that Matt Ryan was a long-serving quarterback for the Falcons, and then he's now the team president, so good luck with that. He hires GM Ian Cunningham, who was part of Bears football. football. And if Ian Cunningham's learned anything from Ryan Paul's the last couple of years, it's they're just gonna be playing Falcons football, baby. Oh, he hires Kevin Stefanski. So Ian Cunningham's first hire as the Falcons GM is to hire Kevin Stefanski, because again, Kevin Stefanski did a fantastic job in Cleveland, guys. I know he had that head coach of the year, was it 2020? But look what he did the last couple of years in Cleveland. I know fucking the skid marks were a dumpster fire anyway, and again, the Cleveland Browns were a dumpster fire of an organization, period. But what made Ian Cunningham look at Kevin Stefanski and go, man, that's our guy. Look what he did with Shedeur Sanders. My God, he's our guy. I'm like, come on, you had Joe Flacco on your team and then fucking he lets him go for Dylan Gabriel, whatever. So yeah, good luck with Kevin Stefanski next year, Falcons fans. It's gonna be fun. But again, I'm just looking at their offense here. Like, they have Drake London here again, who again is again, you've got a good weapon. You've got some good weapons like Drake London. You've got Darnell Mooney. You've got Kyle Pitts and the likes of Bijan Robinson, who again had another good productive year. And your offense was still fucking shit. Salary cap for this team, they have 26 million in cap space, so you do have a bit to play with in cap space, and you can move a couple of additions around. You don't have a first round pick, which is again one of the problems now. Thanks to the old regime, they wanted Kirk Cousins to be all in, and ultimately, the new GM Ian Cunningham doesn't have a first round pick. He's got a second round pick. He has a third round pick, a fourth round pick, and he has a couple of late round picks like fifth, sixth, and seventh round pick. But yeah, this team needs to work on their defense. It has to defense has to be addressed. It was 19th out of 32 last year. Their offense was 24th out of 32. So Kevin Stefanski, I don't know. I don't trust again. I don't know, man. I think it's gonna be. You're looking at this. It's just again typical kind of Falcons football, and it just starts to just hiring a guy from Bears football. Oh, Kirk! Oh my God! Oh, good luck for the Falcons next year, guys. You're gonna need it.